Hi, welcome to Mini Medi. Today's topic is acceptance. It is 2021 July, and there's a lot of a variety of people out in the world, right? We can all agree on that. And whether we like what they're doing or their ideas or not, we are all different variety of God's children, and we have our own thought processes at the moment. And I know things have shifted quite a bit in the last few years. I mean, everything for my almost entire life was basically the same, and you had the good people and the bad people, and all the good people gathered together against the bad people. And now everything is blurred, and you don't really know who is good and who is not. And I know so many people have lost so many friends in the past couple years because of all the divisions in our culture that's been going on. And I've been blessed with the ability to see all points of view. So there's one point of view I definitely see. The radical people, I see their point. However, I definitely would know that they are very lost if they're that radicalized, very lost, and fighting for something that's really not in the whole best interest of the whole. So it's like, I understand that it's easy. It's basically when you are influenced easily by others when you're young, when you're trying to remember when I was most influenced. Maybe 13, you're very influenced at that age, I know, by your friends, and you sometimes might go along with them because you don't want to stand up to them, even though inside you feel it's, what they want you to do isn't really the right thing to do for you, but you don't voice that because you want their approval. So it's basically like that. And so then you have things happening, whether it's political, racial, cultural, loneliness, whatever it is. People started to really band together and create their own little subgroups, it seems like. And it's more profound now, and I just can't believe how ignorant. I've been so ignorant because I remember as a teenager watching these, like, what you'd call skinheads, I guess. That's how they would refer to them on talk shows. And then I knew there's people that are like hateful, and I mean, on both sides. I've lived in a African American neighborhood, and I remember a little African American child yelling at me. I was just driving, and I thought to myself, like, that's sad because that child doesn't know me, and they're just repeating what their parents must say, or I don't know what was happening really. I can't really say the exact lines there where they're picking up this information. That a lot of assumptions are made because if you look at me and think certain things just because of the way I look, whether it's my age, my skin color, my facial expression, even something I say that can get twisted and assumptions made. That's why I always love that appearances are deceiving, because that a lot of times people will be like, oh, that serial killer doesn't look like a serial killer. Okay, what does a serial killer look like? You cannot make assumptions about anybody regarding their age, their race, their clothes, because you know that test when you walk into Macy's and you're wearing ripped up pants, you get treated a certain way, but if you go in there looking all spruced up, you get treated another way. So people do judge. Let's face it, people judge you even though that is the shallow way of being. I would say there's more shallow people in the world, and that is unfortunate, but I believe that now. I believe there are more shallow people in the world than I ever realized. I did not realize until recently, and it makes me sad. I have always been a very sensitive person, and I'm not the only one, but there's a lot of people who are just sensitive to their environment and sensitive. I am lucky that I have good instincts. I know the difference between right and wrong. I can feel what's right. I can feel it. You get the vibe, and there's I think everyone has ability to have the vibe if they just take a few minutes to be calm and still, they'll feel it. So if you ever have a question, you're pondering, that's when it's a good idea to take it to your higher power, your Lord, your God, whatever, or just be still, take it in nature, whatever you are attuned to in your belief system. I think I've also noticed a lot more of people using God as a shield and saying they're doing God's will when clearly it's not God's will, because it's just not. It's just something that they say, and I don't know. Maybe that's their understanding of God, but I'll tell you a story that is really sad. I did go to this church when I was trying to find I had a connection with a higher power when I was a teenager, and then when I was 17, I wanted that back. I wanted to feel that relationship again. So I prayed, things happened, one thing led to another. I ended up at this church, and there was no African American people there, so I questioned that, and the thing that I was told was horrific. And she actually said that there was a story in the Bible about Noah, and Noah had a sexual relationship with his son, and then his son, when he fathered children, they were dark skinned, and it was like she actually said that it was the vengeance of God that created darker skin as a punishment to Noah's sins. I'm like, where is that at in the Bible? Because I went through that whole Bible as a child and studied it. And then when she told me, first thing I did is go home and look at it and look up that verse, and I'm like, what? Talk about reading into something. Wow. So this is what we're dealing with now, because, well, what I did was I stopped going to that church, and I just couldn't believe people think crazy things just to fit into their own agendas. And I'm telling you, that was the biggest membership church in the area. And if they all believe that, then they totally believe that African American or anybody darker than them are, I don't know how they treat them or what that deal is. I didn't stick around long enough, but I just just to have that in your mind bothers me. And that is interesting what people do, and they're saying it's in the Bible. What? Anyway, thank God I wasn't raised like this. I've never, I don't think it's healthy to take anybody's, whether you're Irish, Catholic, whatever your freaking label is, wherever you come from. I think we are all one life. Like we are, you can't hurt a person without hurting yourself. You can't love a person without also showing yourself love. That's just the way I am and the way I believe and the way I think. And that is spirit to me. That's spirit. We are all one. And life also. So it reminds me a little bit, though, of the variety is the spice of life, because when I kayak, I look at the birds, and birds of a feather flock together, as they say, and this is what we're seeing now. So it makes it hard to feel safe, because who is thinking what now? Before, it wasn't like so magnified. Everything seems so magnified right now, and hopefully, I'm okay because I stay grounded in nature. And I'll tell you what, though, it's been a challenge this past year, I would say, staying grounded, because there's so much around you trying to pull your attention away from being grounded, and friends even, or what I would now call acquaintances, have been try to pull you into their spider webs to their web of beliefs. It's like, I feel good. I like the web I'm in. I like to pray and meditate and be in nature, and I do the best I can. I do what I believe is right. I keep to myself. I do get involved, though. I have done some protests, quiet protests, and I will support what I feel is good change, or something that I've always thought ought to be. I am always a supporter of rights of life for everyone and everything. So I would be there for that promotion, and that is to be for something, for the good of women, for the good of children, for the good of our health, for the good of our environment, for the good of our nutrition, for the good of our elderly people, for the good of womankind, mankind, the nature, the earth, the forests and preservations, and now the oceans, which I know are really getting harmed. And I would be there to protest for change and to stop the destruction of what people do with their greed. I would definitely say greed is the killer. And that's why it's one of the deadly sins. There's a lot, the deadly sins are really what it is. And some people move through that in their youth. Some just are born into the world with a positive agenda. Some people come in positive and then are turned. And I think it's important that you keep your eyes open and realize there's a lot of people right now that are coming toward you, and you might think they have good intentions, but they're disguised and they're really dark energy, and they're pretenders. So just be mindful. You trust your gut and trust yourself and your own judgment, and just keep your eyes open, and just remember you have one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. We obviously want to do our part and do what comes to us. So I recycle. I don't pound on my neighbor's door to make them do it. I do what I think is right. If there's a thing to try to get everyone to recycle, I would sign the petition. I would do that. But I'm not going to come at people angry to take my way, or just make it into this big hateful event. That's not who I am, not who I want to be. Yes, I support life. I love how the Native Americans think of 7 generations after them. So whatever I do, think, if I'm going to take this tree down in my yard, how's it going to affect the next 7 generations? Is it going to? And if it is, plant 3 more trees somewhere else that's going to help the future generations. So whatever you take, give 3 times as much, because we have to take sometime, but you always want to replace and rejuvenate also. But there are some people, we see them, that they're just all about them. They do not care if they kill you. They don't care if they hurt you, as long as they get theirs. And it's very disturbing. That's probably why I trust and love nature so much, and animals. And there are a few good people in the world that can be trusted. And I don't know the percentage of that. Maybe I will try to find that out, because it's interesting. However, if you want some peace of mind and to be grounded, take a few minutes for yourself every day. Don't watch the news. Be careful who you talk to. Yet take a trip somewhere where you can see some other things and adventures, or take a different path out into the world or to your job. Pick up a new habit and call a friend who you haven't talked to in a while, or a family member, and just read a book. There's so many things to do to just be human and to be kind and loving. And on that, we're going to just move into our meditation on acceptance. So just take your hands out, take 3 deep breaths. I know that life is full of energy. There's energy all around me every day. And I focus on the energy that I want to fully perceive. I know that acceptance is the answer to all my problems. I know I have the courage to change what I can. And I have the honesty to change things that I can. Most days, most moments are precious, and I just go with the flow, and I accept things and accept people the way they are. Being combative only makes people combative. Being defensive makes the whole situation defensive. Reason with people, if possible. I accept that people are going to act in accordance to where they are in their evolution, on their journey through this life. Some people change for the better. Some people are just good. Some people are good and then they change for the worse. But most people are born into this goodness and love and energy. And some people you can be reasonable with because of that. Deep within most people, we are good and wonderful people who have the ability to just rise above any dark emotions and to be happy and have a good life. Everybody wants to have a good life, but not everyone knows how. So we ask that everyone be lifted up everybody be protected and everybody work out their demons and everyone just come to the glory and the light of love and divinity. And I accept everything today as it is. I today bring my best self to the table. I am a good person, empowered. I am kind and understanding and full of compassion for the world around me. I practice pure acceptance today. I accept myself, my thoughts. I focus on good, positive, constructive thoughts today. I am the energy of greatness and empowerment. I think myself into the best me. My thoughts are on my best self. Thoughts are things. Everything is thought. I think love, pure love, pure love, pure love, here now to stay. And so it is. I am love. Inhale and exhale. And just say thank you for this day of love and beauty and greatness. Stand in your power. Be in the precious moment. You are loved. You are kindness. Practice that kindness. Practice acceptance. Accept this day as it is. And just breathe through the parts that annoy you or you don't like. And know that it's okay. Reassure yourself it's okay. As long as you continue to be your courageous, wonderful, grounded self and speak on a level of acceptance of yourself and others, this is going to be a great day full of joy and laughter. See you next time. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. And I'll talk to you soon. And contact me at minimedi333@gmail and leave me a message if you need any assistance or you have a suggestion for any topic that you would like me to explore or meditate on. Bye.